This is a big time video. This is an important video. I don't know if I'll ever make a more important video than this video. All right, about 2 years ago, I went through this big health journey where my stomach failed, my thyroid failed, my adrenals failed. I couldn't talk, I couldn't eat, and I had to go through this journey of healing. And this video is essentially what I learned on that process. I'm making this to hopefully inspire someone to go out and heal themselves and believe that they have the power within themselves to step forward and go on a healing journey. When your health drops and you no longer have the ability to just live a normal life, it is a scary world of, it feels like dark, cold water. And to bring yourself out of that water into a beautiful paradise of sun and beach in this metaphor that I'm speaking is a daunting task. So once again, I hope this is an inspiring video. These are just things that I tried. These are the things that I really liked and I found a calling to and a passion for. Not saying that these are at all any answers. These are just the answers that I use to help essentially myself. So once again, disclaimer, I'm no medical dude. I'm just a guy on the internet, and here's what I've learned through my process. We're going to talk about a few different sectors of healing. First is like Western medicine, that's what's in the doctor's book. Then you have biochemistry, which is mainly dieting. Then we have circadian rhythm and getting yourself back on like your internal clock, when to do certain things during the day, when not to do certain things during the day. I'm going to talk through that. We're going to have biophysics, which is something that I think is starting to hit the mainstream, but still pretty low key. We're going to talk about the biofield, which is absolutely not talked about in the general public. And then we're going to talk lastly about meeting God. And that's a huge process or a huge part of a healing journey. All right, in this video, I'm going to start from a more of a lower frequency, and then I'm going to build up. So the more I talk, and this is organized to be a higher frequency of a conversation throughout this video. So if you're getting to a point where you feel like there's friction, then take a step back, maybe turn off the video and come to this later, because once again, it's going to end pretty damn deep. It's going to start pretty surface level, and it's going to end extremely deep. Let's get into it though. When I think of healing and what I've learned is, I wrote a few things down. It's a spiritual journey. It's a personal journey, a quest to know thyself and to understand your purpose. AKA, it is a blessing and a journey like no other. It is intense, it is scary, and it is dark if from that viewpoint, but from the other viewpoint, it is the beach. It is the calling. It is the thing to reset your life to the path that you should be on. And I know we're already kind of getting deep, but I'm gonna step back here. I just wanted to say that statement. That's the biggest takeaway that I've learned throughout my journey to get myself back to where I wanted to be. My basic belief on healing, from what I've learned, is you need to do whatever's right for you. You need to do whatever feels right for you. And if you're hearing something from someone and it doesn't feel right for you, then I think you should consider taking a step back and finding a solution that feels right for you. Because for me personally, like, that's when things turned around. All right, when I really felt and believed in something, and honestly, from a deeper standpoint, like, I didn't have the fear of that solution. I saw it as a solution. And I think that's going to be really important for anyone on their healing journey. Once again, to find something that you believe in and you feel comfortable with, I think is the key to any first step of a healing journey. All right, let's start with Western medicine. I am no doctor, so I have no expertise on Western medicine. I have not spent my life studying Western medicine. So I recommend going to see some type of doctor, and I think that's an important aspect to any healing journey, is to understand what is physically happening. And so I really like a doctor that's really good at reading blood work. I think that's a huge thing. It was a huge thing for me. And of course, there's a lot of great solutions in that Western medicine world. So go talk to the experts. Don't listen to people on YouTube. Go talk to the experts. Talk to people that are in that industry and have had really successful cases. Find a great doctor. Find a great communicator. Trust me, they're out there. They're hard to find. I fired about 2 of them. Finally found one I liked. Nonetheless, go find a great doctor. I need to jump in and say this. I'm going to recommend a bunch of different books and a few different other things in terms of things that have worked for me, and maybe they'll work for you. You got to check them out for yourself though, but maybe they'll work for you. those links are below, and those links are my Amazon affiliate. I've never done Amazon affiliate. It's my first video ever. So if you click on those links, allegedly I get a little bit of kickback. Probably won't be much with a $10 book, but hey, if you want to support me, that'd be incredible. I appreciate you being here. Let's jump into biochemistry, which from my understanding is the chemical makeup of the human body, and you can affect that in a positive way by eating healthy foods, right? We understand that food is actually supposed to be medicine. It's supposed to keep our bodies going. It is not supposed to be something that is doing the opposite of that. And so I've read many books about biochemistry and dieting specifically, and I think this is to be, I have 3 recommendations, but this one to be probably my favorite one. Gut Physiology and Syndrome, written by Dr. Natasha Campbell McBride. Essentially what she did was she figured out how to rebuild the gut lining, and that the gut is such an important aspect to the body's health. And if you have a leaky gut, then your body is not going to be able to fully be healthy, because it's going to end up affecting your immune system, your thyroid, and the various other parts of your body. So she figured out exactly how to rebuild the gut lining with a step-by-step dieting program. And then in this book, she also gives like a bajillion recipes. So she has like step 1, I want you to just eat this. Step 2, then you can open the door a little bit more. Then 3, open the door. And there's months and there's timelines and there's a way to test your gut's healthiness throughout this process, but it's all written with just using food as a way to heal your body. Rather impressive research, really well done. She's got a few other books too, but this is the one I really liked, and I really recommend checking this one out if this would be, if it feels like a good fit for you. Next dieting book is the Gerson Method. This is a very famous method. The title reads, "The Proven Nutritional Program to Fight Cancer and Other Illnesses." Essentially, Dr. Gerson figured out that if you take the juices of certain fruits and vegetables, that those juices can be used to heal the body, because you're taking away starch, you're taking away the things that are in fruit that take your body to process that nutrition longer, and you're taking that away, and now you just have the juices and the pure essence, otherwise known as like the life force of that vegetable, of that fruit. And this is a step-by-step guide of that whole process. You can check out there's really good Facebook groups about the Gerson Method that you can join. But once again, this is a very intelligent read, a lot of different viewpoints of how to solve many different issues through just diet. Gerson Method, you know, this is a pretty famous book at this point, but yeah, Gerson Method, definitely something worth checking out. Absolute giant read. Oh yeah, one thing too, the baseline of this diet is no bread, like no wheat and no sugar. Like that's how you start in this diet. I just wanted to say that. All right, and then the last book, this is more of a different viewpoint on like the gut health, and it kind of expands your horizons to maybe think a little bit more outside the box. This is written by R.D. Lee. I'm a big fan of this author. I have one of his other books I'm going to recommend. But yeah, this is something to check out. Gut Brain Secrets, Causes and Solutions to Gut, Brain, and Body Dysfunction. It goes into a lot of different things. R.D. Lee really studies the front edge of health, and he's not scared to go in and study any topic, even if it is front edge research. He definitely gives it his all on that front. So yeah, really good read. It reads like an absolute encyclopedia, so it's quite thick, and it's quite boring at times, but geez, it's the kind of book where you learn on every single page. Once again, it expands your horizons. Next, I just want to talk about supplements. I'm a fan of supplements, but at the same time, like, I think they kind of get over marketed. I think just your baseline supplements are good. You know, you take vitamin C, zinc, magnesium, or whatever, once again, feels right to you. But I think this culture of taking supplements, I don't necessarily think supplements are going to be the answer. I don't think you can just go out and just be a buffoon and take supplements and that's going to like carry your health the rest of your life. I think fundamental healthy changes would be a lot better than just like taking supplements, but supplements are a good way to stabilize the body from my understanding. And from my experience, I think that's true. But was once told by a doctor, take like $230 of supplements every month. And I was just like, yeah, that's probably not going to work for me. So once again, you got to use your own discernment there. But yeah, I don't think you need to spend bajillion dollars on supplements. Maybe if you feel like that's the path, then it probably will be the path for you. But for me, it just wasn't. I think you just take baseline supplements, the main ones, and I think that's good for, in my opinion, was good for my personal health journey. Let's jump into cell salts now. Cell salts are my favorite thing that I found in my entire research. Really, really were awesome for me, and I still use them today. What are cell salts? They're the tissue salts of the human body, right? Food gets broken down into 12 things that the body can use. This is from my understanding. And these cell salts are directly those things immediately, right? You can eat broccoli, and the broccoli is going to get broken down in your body, and it's going to get broken down into like 2 different cell salts. Or this isn't the idea of supplementing, once again, but you're just taking the cell salts straight up. And remember, like 12 is a very powerful number, like 12 zodiac signs. 12 disciples, like 12 is a power number, and this goes extremely deep in the human creation, is the 12 cell salts. So I have a few books. I really like this book, Facial Diagnosis of Cell Salts and Deficiencies. So allegedly in Eastern Europe, there's doctors who just literally heal people and help people get back on their path with just cell salts. And this is a book that talks about cell salts, how to take them, and also talks about how to essentially read someone's face and understand if they are deficient on cell salts or not, and what to take. And I really like this book because it really breaks down to like what the cell salts do, and then you can learn how to take different cell salts for different scenarios. And I'll talk a little bit more about that here in a second. But this is a book written by George W. Carey, and he mapped the cell salts to the zodiac signs, which I know is kind of starting to get a little, foo-foo or whatever, but it's a very intelligent book. There is a quote that I wanted to read here that I really love. A shadow cannot be removed by chemicals, neither can a disease be removed by poison. There is nothing, no thing to be removed in either case, but there is a deficiency to be supplied. The shadow may be removed by supplying light to the space covered by the shadow, which I think is fundamental was fundamental in my healing. I love that quote, saying that you just have a dark space of void and you need to give that dark space light. And in this book, he's saying that cell salts can help you do that. So yeah, this book's like $2-3. Check it out. But yeah, definitely worth a read. George W. Carey, way before his time, and yeah, this is quite the intelligent piece of literature put together. He's written a lot of other books, but this is just the one on cell salts specifically. In terms of the cell salt brand I like, well, there's only 2 realistically. There's one in Europe, and then there's one in United States. But I use Highland Naturals, and they come in 2 different variations. One, you can just buy like what's called the all 12, which is like all 12 salt salts in like one little like dissolvable dissolvable capsule that they come with. And then you can buy like the individual ones. And I know enough now to just do both, where I take the all 12, but then, if I get a cold, then I'll take like number 4 or something, right? Depending on like how I'm feeling. So it can get pretty vast, but once again, just taking an all 12 every day, it's like taking any other supplement, and they dissolve right under your tongue. And yeah, I really, really enjoyed these. And I feel better with taking them. To kind of recap biochemistry, my thought process was, well, let's make sure I'm giving my body the nutrients it needs to heal itself. And these kind of steps and these diets and the cell salts were my version of trying to do that, trying to attempt to do that. And I found pretty good success via those books, those diets, and the cell salts. Let's talk about circadian rhythm. This is my #1 recommended book in this entire video, The Circadian Code by Dr. Panda. The subtitle is Lose Weight, Supercharge Your Energy, and Transform Your Health Morning to Night. Okay, the basic premise of this is that the human body works on a clock, and that clock should be set to your environment, which is, guess what, Earth, right? The sun. So waking up at sunrise, going to bed at sunset, like these are things that make our body work more efficiently, keep our body on clock. Okay, when to eat, when to work out, what are the benefits? It educates you on when to do stuff. Okay, before reading this book, I just thought it didn't matter. And then I read this book, and there's like very much deep level research on saying that it does matter. A couple points here. Let's talk about like eating, let's talk about sleeping, let's talk about exercising, and once again, I highly recommend you check out this book. But eating, that theoretically a human being should eat between 8 and 10-hour windows, and there's no snacking. Why do you not want snacking? Because you want your body to focus on healing. Once you eat something, then your body immediately turns into what just came into the body and it focuses on that. But when you're not eating, the body can focus on cleaning and healing. So when to eat and how to eat and all that whole 9 yards all go together. And so this book really explains the timing of eating, sleeping, waking up at sunrise, going to bed at sunset, keeps your body on its clock, right? We're trying to get the organs to be working all together. And lastly, exercise. Why to exercise in the morning? Why to exercise at night? These are things that are just small changes in our lives that can make a huge benefit. And he mainly wrote this book around like weight loss. But nonetheless, there's a lot of good stuff about healing in this book too. I highly recommend this. Really good book. There's a few others on this topic, but I really like this one. All right, now let's talk about biophysics, right? It's the next section of health. I think biophysics in like 8 to 10 years from now will be part of Western medicine because it's so important. It's like the thing that people don't realize. And when you actually start researching this and start studying the new papers coming out, you're like, holy cow, this is something that I should pay attention to if I'm trying to work on, my healing of my own body, right? So this book right here, The Mitochondriac Manifesto, How Nature Nurtures the Body and Technology Torments It by R.D. Lee, would be my second book recommended. This book's freaking incredible. This book is an encyclopedia. It's essentially R.D. Lee studied a bunch of other researchers, put all the information together, and it just reads like endless intelligence. Like it's endless great stuff in this book. And one of the big time quotes is, "You can't get well in the environment that made you sick." All right, this book's all about the environment around you and it affects the body. And this was big for me because I wanted to study biochemistry. I wanted to figure out, am I eating right? Am I giving my body what it needs to heal? And then I wanted to study, is the outside world affecting my body to heal? So it was both viewpoints when I'm mapping this out, right? I did this whole map on how I was going to heal myself. So I really needed to study the biophysics of this plane. How do things affect me? How does light affect me? How does water affect me? How does EMFs affect me? How does radiation affect me? What is in my life? And I started to test these things because I'm trying to get 1% better a day to get my body back to where I want it to be. You can't fully get well in the environment that made you sick. All right, so let's talk about different components of this light. Sunlight, from what I've learned and what I've experienced before I got sick, was like something that was like, oh, it's great that it's sunny out. And then it became a thing where like sunlight is like the gift to the earth. It is why everything grows. It is the beauty. It's something to not be scared of. And not only to not avoid, but to enjoy and to be under and participate in. The information that comes from the sun, in my opinion, is a healing information. So I became a person who loved to be outside, getting as much sunlight as I can on a daily basis during my journey. But yeah, I'm a giant sun person now. Blue light that comes from our computers and phones, and like even my blue light that's above me is dangerous light. So it's something to study, and also something that's in this book, and it really describes the reason to be careful around constantly being around blue light and what to do to either change the light or how to protect yourself against man-made lighting. The next is water, right? Water is the source. Sunlight and water. Right? Water is healing. It is everything that is humanity, right? So making sure you have the cleanest water possible is a key, right? Usually reverse osmosis, but now there's even fancier versions. I use reverse osmosis. One thing that I really learned was the ability to charge water, which I never knew was a thing. You put water in sunlight in a glass, that water now becomes positively charged in the way of a positive influence on your body. I've noticed the effect that it's been positive influence. I never thought about charging water. And I go out there and I charge water, and I just completely know that it works for me personally. All right, and then I learned about other things. Like I have this crazy gadget, the Prife Terra Care light gun that charges water at terahertz frequency. You can learn about this on the Frequency Wand Facebook group, but this little gadget is has quite incredible testimonials of healing. So yeah, this charges water at a certain light spectrum that is found in natural sunlight called terahertz. Definitely, if you're wanting to check this gadget out, join the Frequency Wand testimonial page on Facebook, and you will read things that are almost not believable. But yeah, I found this gadget out, and I've enjoyed this in the process. But it's the same thing as like charging light in sunlight, but this is just a certain direct spectrum of light. Next is grounding. I didn't even know what grounding even was. A grounding is when you put your foot on the ground, right? You're very much positively charged as a person, and then you put your feet on the ground and the earth is negatively charged, and it rebalances yourself, it rebalances the clocks in your organs, and it gets your body working together. Once again, shoes were man-made, right? Humans didn't have shoes forever. Now we have shoes. Now we're less attached to our environment, the natural things of this earth. So definitely look into grounding. I use grounding shoes. I ground as much as I can just when I'm outside. I'm touching the real earth, and I find a real benefit to grounding. So definitely give that a shot, and consider maybe doing some more research on grounding itself. A lot of good information out there on grounding. The next topic in biophysics is EMFs, right? This is like electric man-made frequencies, right? These are frequencies that we invented from technology, that emit from technology and emit from electrical grids, right? And you think about it, this is a new concept for humans, right? We're really now living in an environment that other human beings in the past history have never lived ever. So how is this affecting us? I think there's going to be a lot more research in the future, and it may be proven that it doesn't affect us, because that's kind of what mainstream says now, versus there's other people that say that it really affects us. So you, once again, use your own discernment. But a couple things here that I wanted to just talk to with EMFs. I think in the next couple of years, the same people that really market supplements to people and supplementing constantly are going to start marketing like EMF blocked clothing. And EMF blocked clothing makes sense on the surface that, hey, I can just wear this thing and EMFs won't get to me. But the problem with it is like, that's just one wave of the electronic wave. There's additional waves, right? So like the electricity in your walls emits a different wave, from my understanding, than like your Wi-Fi or like a cell tower does. All right, so wearing like clothing on your body just wouldn't logically make sense, because you're going to attract different waves to you that you wouldn't want either. So realistically, if you're going to like if you really want to block EMFs, then you would need something like a canopy that would go around your bed that like would not be touching your skin. One way to measure your environment is to start measuring your man-made EMF. This is the Safe and Sound Pro 2. I think this is the best brand because it's set in a way that's supposed to be closer to the human body's vibration, versus some of the cheaper ones aren't. And they're kind of just like the junkier version that didn't go that next step for true healing, which is a pattern that I noticed in a lot of this like healing journey, was people sell stuff, but it's not like the perfect, it's like halfway done. And this company, from my research and in my experience, is a Safe Living and Technology Inc. Really go the extra mile on their products. There's a version that's cheaper than this, but the bottom line is what this does is it tells you your environment, how much radiation, how much EMFs are in your environment, because then you now know how to reduce those. Right? There's different paths that you can definitely study on reducing those, but this is just a option. There's a cheaper option than this. That's the same brand, just doesn't have like the screen that you can check out. I think that's $170, and this is a couple $100. But it is very interesting to know, like, is your space healthy? Once again, we're trying to make sure that our environment's not affecting our healing. The next gadget I have is BVK EMF Safe Inc. This is understanding what is the voltage coming from your walls. And what you want to do theoretically is go to the place that you sleep, because you sit there for 8 hours, and figure out are there a lot of excess electronical waves coming from like my electrical system in my house. If that's the case, then you want to unplug everything in your walls, and you may even want to think about shutting off your room's fuse so there's no electrical power going to your room. I personally think that might be overkill to do that, but I think not having like alarm clocks sitting next to your head, not having like your cell phone sitting next to your head, Just not having a bunch of things plugged in your room in general, or things that just emit electrical waves, is good. And this tells you the voltage on your skin. So rather interesting, and another tool to kind of figure out like how healthy is my environment, specifically how healthy is the environment that I sleep in. The next book I recommend in this biophysics topic is the Epipaleo RX. I think I said that wrong, but EPI Paleo RX by Dr. Jack Kruse. R.D. Lee, the guy whose book I really like, he referenced Dr. Jack Kruse a lot, and you can see Dr. Jack Kruse on YouTube all over the place talking about different types of biophysics and biochemistry, because he was a neurosurgeon. So he figured out a diet and a methodology to healing that uses cold ice bathing and certain dietary restrictions. And what he really figured out was that the human body in cold temperatures can create light, and that light is the source of healing in the body. And everything gets turned into light in the body. Food gets turned into light. And your mitochondria is, I believe, from my understanding, the engine that does this. He's pretty famous in the medical discussional industry. So check out his work, Dr. Jack Kruse. I would see an interview first and then maybe buy his book after. But sometimes I think his interviews are even better than the book itself. But once again, really good read and definitely ahead of its time, without a doubt. Okay, now we're getting even deeper into this life and this life's understanding, and we're talking about the biofield, which this is something I knew exists from my past experiences, but I never actually interacted with. And in my journey, my health journey allowed me to interact with this. All right, there's a book, Electric Body, Electric Health by Aline Day Makowski. That's Mckusik. Once again, links below. But what she essentially figured out was, yes, we have a physical body, but we also have an energy body. Okay, and this energy body is what truly affects our physical body. And once again, we're getting deeper into the weeds about this realm here. All right, so now this is where we're kind of I'm bringing up the frequency of this conversation. So what she did was she mapped different parts of the body and the energy that is the frequency that it vibrates. And if that part of the body is off frequency, then that part of the body is becoming diseased or is becoming negatively affected. So to solution this, she's developed a methodology of how to use sound and tuning forks to retune the body to make sure the body is as it should be, which is a perfectly sounding instrument. If you have a shoulder problem, then theoretically the sound of your shoulder, the energy that is above your shoulder, is off tune. To retune that will heal your shoulder. That is kind of like her methodology. That is her life's work. I think personally, after experiencing some of her sessions, and I'll talk about where to find her sessions, this is Nobel Peace Prize type stuff. She took research from this guy named Dr. Becker and Electrical Body, I think is the book. And she took that and really found out ways to help people and heal the energy field. And once again, my interpretation of her research and her books and her methodology is that your physical body is affected directly by your energy body. And your energy body is the first thing that turns negative or turns wrong, and that eventually creeps in, affecting the frequency of your organs and of your body. Your body, once again, is an instrument. So you can go to biofieldtuning.com and you can go to her website, you can buy the tuning forks, you can even become a tuning practitioner. You can also sign up and have your body tuned by someone, and it becomes very metaphysical. You can buy recordings of her recording to help out whatever is wrong with you. You can buy let's just talk about the shoulder. You can buy the shoulder one that helps retune the shoulder. And it once again proves many different things on the metaphysical world, and that time doesn't exist and space doesn't exist. That's what this research does. I mean, it's truly Nobel Peace Prize level research. So check it out for yourself. Once again, I would definitely get her book first, and then I would check out her website. But that's the book is Electrical Body, Electrical Health, and then the website is Biofield Tuning. Okay, one thing she also talks about is that memories are held in the body, and this kind of gets into meeting God part of this video. Okay, the idea from her book is that if you had trauma or a negative thing happen at a certain age, that energy is still going to be within your field, and that energy can still affect your physical body. All right, so how do you actually solve that? You could retune your body theoretically so that pain or that trauma is no longer there. But I really think the way to do it, from my understanding, is self-forgiveness. It's forgiveness and self-forgiveness, and that's when we get into breaking down love and embrace for ourselves and for our life. And this is where, like, I did all that research to just learn, in my opinion, this one thing. Your body only shows symptoms to show the spiritual healing that needs to take place. I'm going to read that one more time. Your body only shows symptoms to show the spiritual healing that needs to take place. Why did my gut fail? Because I wasn't trusting my gut. Why did I lose my voice? Because I wasn't using my voice. There's so many complexities, and I talked so much about this video. But at the end of the day, I really think health and healing can just be that simple. I really think a positive mindset and understanding what is going on and making those changes in your life. Once again, going to my poster, be you, only you, getting closer to your soul, doing what you should be doing in life, not what society tells you, going and finding the reason why you came to earth. Like that, to me, of all the stuff I studied, is I found to actually heal me, to actually get me in a better path. And all the stuff I think that I talked about in this video can work and did work for me. But I know that was the difference. When I really decided, like, you know, who the fuck I am, that I am an of legend being, that I have a purpose here, that I came here for a reason, and I'm going to step in, I'm going to use my voice and build the things I want in my life. And I'm going to do that by checking myself to make sure that I'm being myself and I'm only being myself, and that I am the spark that I am, that I am the energy field that I am. That's what did it for me, in my opinion. Okay, other things I did: sprint, laugh, yell. And I sell these posters. I'll have a link below. I'm not saying that you need to buy a poster. I'm just saying if this inspires you to help yourself and it's a reminder, then get a poster. I ship them out of my house. It's freaking awesome. But yeah, sprint, laugh, yell, which is one of my things that I developed through this process, was, hey man, if you can get your legs moving, if you can get a good laugh in and you can get a good yell in a day, then that's a good day, and that's a path forward in any healing journey or any journey ever. If you're down in the dumps, get a good sprint in, get a good lap in, get a good yell in, check those every single day. And in my opinion, for me at least, I saw results, and I really lived by that. Now I want to talk about love again. Love is broken down into two energies, right? It is the energy that is good. It is Mother Earth. It is what people, I think, call God. It is the essence of beauty. Right? There's two things that happen in this, and it's a split between the energy that I think of embrace, which is embracing life and enjoying life, and then it's the energy that is forgiveness. And those are the two things that I work with people on, is the system of giving and the system of forgiving. Because that fundamentally to me is the system and the master class that this life is. If you master embrace and you master forgiveness, then you're going to be on a spiritual level that most people can't even fathom. There's going to be doors and opportunities that open in your life that that would be completely blinded to you if you didn't work on embracing and forgiving. All right, I'm going to get off my soapbox because I'm not trying to give a dissertation here, but I just wanted to say that. And here's the thing too that I recommend now is there's the ability to channel. Right? The ability to channel your soul. And this is what people call like psychics or like mediums, for instance. If I was going to do my whole health journey over again, and I didn't know this was a thing at the time, but I learned it throughout my process, would be I would go meet with a medium, meet with a psychic person, and channel, ask them to channel my direct energy field and speak to that energy field and ask, hey, what's going on and how do I turn this around? Because the answer I gave 2 minutes ago about not trusting your gut, not using your voice, was something that I figured out. And then I did a channeling where I'm literally asking questions to my soul. And it's a scary moment in a way, but it's also not. All right, this world's electric. This world's a realm, my friend. It's not Earth. We live on a realm. And then hearing those answers and being able to implement those answers into my life was quite the journey, and something that I think I'll look back and be like, wow, what a time. Like, what a time to be human, what a time to be living. And I recommend that. I have a friend who's a medium. I can put her name below. Her name's Tara. Check her out. Another person that's really good is like this person online is Jamie Butler. I don't know anything about Jamie Butler. I've never met anything about Jamie Butler, but I've listened to a lot of her content, and I like usually where she comes from. But yeah, maybe that's something to think about too. And I know that's getting really deep, and I'm ending on this super deep note, but don't ever be scared to ask for help. Don't ever be scared to ask for help from God. Don't ever be scared to ask for help from your soul, your guardian angels, the people around you. And healing and going through that journey is so hard because you just don't know who to trust and what you should do. And you feel like this life is valuable, and now my whole life is going downhill and I don't know what to do. You got to trust yourself, and you got to look for answers, and you got to ask yourself, the realm, God, whatever you believe in, Mother Earth, for answers. And if you're open to those answers, you're going to be provided them. That's how I got all this information, was I was open to the idea. I wanted to learn. And these books and this information just like would come to me, and I would check it out. And then I worked on the evolutionary cycle of that. And it was a beautiful journey, and something that made me understand myself more and made me enjoy life more. And that is something that I am just so damn proud of, is the ability to enjoy life more. And I think my physical journey has prepared me to the new life that I'm stepping in right now. And I couldn't be more excited. And I hope this video inspires someone out there. Thanks for watching. Please consider subscribing. Once again, you can check out my shop, check out the links below. But yeah, really hoping that this video connects with at least one person out there. All right, we'll talk soon. Thank you.